Today is August 25th. The Yankees touched down in California last night, ready to play a West Coast trip. Jake and I are going to set the lineup, and let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy, Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy, and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, presented to you by SeatGeek. You want to go to a Yankees game? Grab a seat. You're a geek. Go to SeatGeek, download the app, or use the website. They make it super easy, so you know if you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. Best yet, you get $20 off your first purchase. So go find yourself $40 seats in the stall somewhere. Get them for $20 with code YANKS. That's very important. My name's Jimmy. Jake is here, and he looks great. And BBD wearing his We Got Ice floorball jersey in the corner. Jake, are you ready to talk Yanks?
James, Davis, everyone joining us. I am. Hopefully this ship has gone the right direction. We're assuming they flew to Oakland. Could have gone boat, Panama Canal, little Mariano Rivera tribute. That would have been very touching. But you're probably right. They probably.
No, I take it back.
It's taken back.
I have no idea how they got to California.
No
and it was
idea.
kind of dumb of me to assume.
Yeah, I know we got a lot of Cali fans, especially Oakland. We held one of our first big Talkin' Yanks events in Oakland.
Shout out Zendino.
Jordan. I know a lot of good people out there. So SeatGeek code Yanks. Get yourself $20 off those tickets. I'm doing well, man. I do look fantastic today. I'm in an interesting spot with the goatee because I said I was going to shave it once the Yankees figured it out, but now they're 3-0 with the goatee. So I kind of have to leave it, which that could be a lifelong thing if they go on and grab a ring this year. So that's concerning on my end. But yeah, man, we sometimes end with a guess the lineup, a lot of people's favorite segment on this program. I don't think we're doing guess the line. There's actually a really fun lineup conversation to be had, and I think we do that. The Queen of Stats, Katie Sharp, has some a reminder of part of the Yankees' struggles that we can talk about getting away from that, and all the other good. So I'm good, man. What's the haps over there?
You know, I like these conversations that are just so in the weeds of baseball, but as you do them, like guess the lineup is for one day. But it's nuanced. It sometimes can be deemed as a conversation versus nothing, but I just think you run into cool things, and then you kind of get into the inner workings of how hard it is to come up with a lineup and how there's so many different possibilities, and then you realize what the bench is. So, down the road, we'll start doing some conversations about the postseason roster, and I love those. And I think we are. I like doing those September, after the first week of September ends. I don't know. That's when I first time doing it and then keeping track. So I'm excited. I like these kind of conversations. We made our own lineups and we're going to present them to each other. Maybe did you make one as well?
Can.
If you want to. And so we don't know. Because instead of doing it out loud, we kind of went through all the rivers and nooks and weirdness of doing it. And see what obstacles you ran into, I ran into. So,
yeah.
I'm good, man.
Good, man.
I'm trying to find one, stat.
Okay.
But I don't know how to find it, and it goes into my lineup a little bit, and I'm getting annoyed with all the websites that this isn't easier to find.
Come on, websites.
Right? That's what I'm always saying. Come on the websites. Anything else we need to... There's rumors they're calling up Weissert.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything from official. I mean, if you get Aaron Boone saying your name in a presser, and you get Jack Curry tweeting about it, and then I've seen some other people with the unofficial official. Greg Weissert will be joining the team tweets. By the way, deservedly so. He's been absolutely killing it at AAA. He's been the closer down there for a while. I think he's got like a 20 appearance scoreless streak. So. Really exciting. 23 straight appearances, not allowing a run for Scranton Wilkes-Barre. I think, the videos I've seen, he's got a wipeout slider. He's a Fordham guy, so there's some good energy there, and we need some bullpen help. So hopefully he can be kind of the spark back there to help fuel things. And, I remember when Steven Ridings got called up last year, and we're like, who is this guy? You wonder if Greg Weissert can be a punch in the arm, kind of like Ridings was for that brief period of time. You hope it lasts a little longer, but really interested to see. Seems like a guy who's truly earned his opportunity. He's 27 years old, a New York guy, Fordham like this. If this guy's slider is like the video I've seen, he is gonna win a lot of fans really quickly.
Have you seen it? Where's the video? I want to see it. Someone tweet it.
Yeah, there's you gotta search the minor league. If you Google Greg Weissert videos, they've got one of those behind home plates. Okay, here's the behind home plate cam. What's the best way to get this to you guys? Slack-a-rooney?
Yeah. Okay.
Slack's
a good way to get it to us.
Slack when you're feeling good. Slack when you know you should. Slack.
Slack.
Talkin Yanks. The last thing in that Slack looks like the picture of Joel Sherman, John Heyman, and Brian Cashman.
Oh, it's so good.
All right, I slacked it to you guys. Greg Weissert, his last 30.1 innings pitched, a 0.59 ERA, and a 40% K rate. That's stuff that should travel.
Kind of a chunkier, not chunky, but a bigger guy with a mustache as well.
Yeah, he's got a mustache. I think it's it's classic athlete stuff. His middle looks beefy, but pinstripes are slimming, so I don't know.
But that slider's nuts.
I mean, that behind home plate cam is pretty.
The first one's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of, you don't want to set the bar too high, but his slider, it looks like kind of a Mike King gas station lab slider.
It looks like Trevor Plouffe in the warehouse. Wow.
It does.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good for him. I don't know how they're going to use him. They're going to use him against righty lanes in mid-leverage is my guess.
And there's kind of no rules in the bullpen right now, so we'll find out. We're assuming Luke Bard is the move for him, right?
Have they... Yeah, that's what I'm assuming, unless there's another injury or phantom IL they want to do.
Yeah, but they need a 40-man move. So
Britton's playing in single A today. We
sure
should let's have someone that runs Talkin Yanks socials get the footage of that.
On it.
Yeah, I want to see what that's all about. He's probably gonna be super wild if you're ready for updates. Britton takes forever to find those keep Britton regular. He hasn't pitched in a while. The command comes later on. I remember when they first traded for him, they had him for August and September, and the quotes were like, "We knew he wasn't going to be who he was in August." And I think is that 18 or 19? He had a bad August.
N?
Yeah.
I'd say 19.
That's what I want to say too.
I think 18, he was just dialed.
Should we do sharp stats first or lineup stuff first? What's your interest?
We usually do sharp stats first.
All right.
Usually the order, and we'll end up putting it in our rear view because I don't think it's the most positive sharp stats. And sharp stats are brought to you by Foco. If you guys haven't seen, Poppy's had a few well-dressed worms days come from Foco, and they're like the official merchandise of fans. My sweet Jessica was like, "What's Foco?" And I was like, "It's fan gear." It's, if you're going to a Yankee game and you're trying to peacock a little bit, Foco is where you want to be. They're officially licensed with Major League Baseball. It's stadium wear. I mean, it's It's when they go and you look at the DVD 20 years from now, you're like, whoa, that guy's a fan. That guy's a fan. Plenty of products going from floral shirts, hats, board shorts, bobbleheads. Foco has the stuff you need for all 162, whether you're going to the ballpark or you're hanging out in your fan cave. Why don't you head to foco.com/johnboy, foco.com/johnboy, and find your fandom today. Use JohnBoy15 or Yanks. You got options, people. JohnBoy15 or Yanks for 15% off your first order. I guarantee you, this is Talking Yanks. You're probably a Yankees fan. You will find something for yourself and the Yankee fan in your life at Foco. Foco.com/JohnBoy, and then JohnBoy15 or Yanks for 15% off. You order.
Yeah, you had you made me think of an idea as you were saying that.
Okay.
So I'm now slacking our design department and telling them to make a shirt called Well Dressed Worms Day.
Okay. And it's like a worm with my head on it.
It's like a worm
Yeah.
dressed like Jake.
Okay.
With a goatee.
Yeah, the worm's got to have a goatee.
A goateed worm would look really nice.
And a little breaking news before Sharp Stats. Yankees will open up opening day of 2023 at home, March 30th, versus the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, that'll be cold.
First time ever Yankees will play all 30 teams in a season.
March 30th.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Did you see my other idea that I put in the design chat that no one...
Did no one engage with that?
One person, Matty Mass, said like exclamation point, which I think means like double make this. It was maybe a shirt of a cartoon Jake standing inside a toilet with the caption in spray graffiti, Jake in a toilet.
That did get one emphasis from Matty Mass.
People must have not thought that was a good idea.
I'd emphasize it.
Yeah.
Kitty Sharp the Queen.
Hey guys, Queen of Stats, I'm back. And this week, what I want to do is I want to just talk about another key component of this slump that I think has been really underreported, but I think is super important to why they've been struggling so much. And that is the terrible base running that they've been doing recently. I'm talking like worst in the league. Now, the inflection point that I'm looking at is since July 9th. And we know on July 8th was their high point. They had a 15.5 game lead, and they were 61-23. And since then, the only worst team in the AL, their record, has been the Tigers. So they're 14-25 as I tape this on Tuesday before the Mets game. So anyways, let's get into this base running. Now, I know that, base running may not be the most important thing in baseball, but it really can improve your team's odds or cost your team runs. And with the Yankees playing so many close games, at the margins, and losing a lot of those close games, I feel like this terrible base running has really hurt them. So I'm going to use a mix of some traditional and some advanced stats here. And the first thing that I'm going to look at is what's called on Fangraphs the ultimate base running UBR statistic. And basically what that is, it's the value that the player adds to the team via base running on non-stolen base tip plays. So that's like taking the extra base and stuff. So since July 9th, the Yankees are second worst in this metric UBR. And before July 9th, they were third worst. So they were still pretty bad in both plays. Now let's move on to steals and stealing bases. We know that the Yankees really excelled in that before July 9th. In fact, they had the fourth highest stolen base percentage at 83% before July 9th. Since July 9th, they have the third worst stolen base percentage. That's 59%, and the most caught stealings. Not a good mixture right there. We know league average is about 70%, so way below league average. And still being very aggressive. They're top 10 in stolen base attempts since July 9th. And just to put that into some more context, Fangraphs has this metric called WSB, weighted SB, which basically puts those steal attempts and those caught stealings into context and assigns a run value to them. So since July 9th, they are worst in WSB. And before July 9th, they were third best in WSB. And when you put it all together, the UBR and the WSB, that's base running, non-stolen base plays and stolen bases, the Yankees are the worst team since July 9th, costing themselves approximately 6 runs. Talk to you guys next week.
That was a hammer of an ending.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to the queen of stats, Katie Sharp. Jake, today we're talking about the base running woes of the Yankees. We just had a bunch of stats thrown our way. Worst base running in the league during their stretch. This is interesting. They were the second worst base running team from the bad stretch of July 5th through July 9th. Was that it? Just 4 days? Like that was a really bad stretch of 3 shutouts, all losses. Before that, they were the third worst. So they were pretty bad already.
Right.
They had the most jarring stat here was they had the worst stolen base percentage, but also the most caught stealings. Usually those don't go hand in hand because like Jorge Posada, he's going to try to steal 2 bags a year and he's going to get thrown out once. So that's a pretty bad percentage, 50%, but he only got 1 caught stealing because he didn't do it a lot. To lead in percentage and worst is like, well, you're bad and you keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, this was some eye-opening stuff because we, as you check off the boxes of baseball, you usually check in with the pitching first. Like, let's be honest, that speaks come postseason. That's early on in this Yankee season before the offense started clicking. The pitching was incredible. Remember, we were getting 6-inning efforts every day, 1 through 5 in our rotation, and that's such an easy way to play winning baseball. And it's the story of baseball. If you pitch, you win, more or less. Then you go to the hitting because the Yankees for a while were mauling Aaron Judge, MVP pace, Rizzo. Remember when he led April in home runs and then he got hot again? I think it was in June. And when Stanton's right, and Glaber had like a 2-month stretch where he was lights out, and we're starting to forget that a little bit. But it's hitting and pitching, right? That's baseball pretty simply. We've seen teams in recent years even punt on defense. We've seen teams punt on base running. Defense has become such a bigger priority for the New York Yankees and around baseball. They traded Jordan Montgomery, a very reliable starting pitcher, for a hurt defense first center fielder who hopefully Harrison Bader, we got a big update actually today, Jim. I don't know if you heard.
I haven't seen it yet.
He was tracking pitches.
So that was what I was saying. He has to stand in the stand next.
He was tracking
So
pitches.
I said last episode, he's standing in water. Now he has to stand on the field and look at pitches.
Not the field yet.
Oh, well, same thing, but
Not the
batting
field.
cage or
Just
whatever.
during
He's
someone's
tracking
bullpen.
pitches.
Yeah, just standing there, looking at him.
But that's
It's
how
something.
much the Yankees' only position that they weren't positive in defensive run saves was center field. So they got one of the best center fielders in the game. And hopefully Harry Bader gets healthy and we get to appreciate that sooner than later. And especially some of the lineup stuff we're doing, he has become a lot more prevalent. Base running. And man, when you go back to last year's Yankees, and, they were a 500 team all year, if not a little under 500, except for that one stretch. Remember, they got hot. They won however many games in a row. It started after the Field of Dreams game. And what were they doing? They were base running. They were aggressive. They were stealing bases. It was our guy Squid at short was being hyper aggressive. Guys were taking bags, and it felt like such a fun brand of baseball. And we saw that early on this year. The guys were running the bases well. They were being aggressive. We loved Rizzo's aggressiveness, even though he's not a speedster. But, there's a lot of guys in the lineup that could do something on the bases. And guess what? Like, I know analytics can only measure it so much, but it matters so much. Go watch a Chicago White Sox game this year. They are like the sad version of the Yankees from last year. They don't run hard to first. They don't believe in that. They don't really run hard on the bases. And by the way, their defense ain't great either. That those hitting and pitching will always run the world in baseball. If you can't hit or pitch and you play good defense and you can run a little, it's not necessarily a winning formula. I mean, you can win some games. A lot of teams do. But base running and defense is what makes good teams great. I mean, look at some of those Boston teams in the past and how they used to abuse us on the bases. The Dodgers right now, the best team in baseball. They will abuse you on the bases. The New York Mets, they've got a lot of guys that can go on you. That it's such an important part to the formula. The Yankees realize it, and we know they have their brain trust of like 11 analytics guys that they come together for decisions on. One of those guys is like their base running specialist, and I think he walks tall and carries a big stick because he has some stats where I think he can be like, hey, when we do this well, we win a ton of games. And part of that is because the Yankees are traditionally pretty good at pitching and pretty good at hitting, that when you get the base running aspect, I think that's
they're never
going to
be great at it because they're not fast. But they can, I mean, if you're just not awful at it.
And I mean, on a given day, Judge is a good base runner and can steal a base when they need it. He did that yesterday against the Mets. Glaber's base running has been better this year. Remember all the talks about him being more athletic. I know he gave us a little bit of a scare in the Mets series, but he's been more athletic. IKF runs really well. The numbers, base running wise, love him. Rizzo compared to Voit, we did this.
Rizzo's been pretty bad
recently, right?
Stealing. He's just gotten thrown out at third, I think 3 times this season.
But I remember we did this early on the season, and we went position by position, and it was like a slight tweak and upgrade almost everywhere. And especially, dude, who's been awesome? Benintendi, man. That guy plays baseball like an athlete. And it's
base running?
Yes. It's really cool to watch. That tag up in the Mets series where he beats the throw, short right field, Marte catches it.
Yeah.
It was like perfect baseball.
Yeah, when they thought he left early or whatever that was. It was perfect baseball and a good slide.
Yeah.
And the lane was left open. Good catching.
Yeah. No, it was like perfect baseball. Like they hit a fly ball with a runner on third. The right fielder catches it. The right field makes a good throw with a crow hop, puts it right on the catcher. But Benny was just fast enough with a good slide to beat it out. That, man, watching him run the bases, I know his sprint speed, I think he's only 55th percentile. But I wonder if there's some baseball speed there or if it's just little leg stuff that seems like he's running faster.
Yeah, motoring.
But I enjoy that.
Wait, when was so it was July 5th to August 9th? Is that what we're saying was the dead stretch?
I think
July 9th.
July 9th and on.
Oh, so I wrote it down, but I could tell I wrote it wrong. So let's see.
Swap some numbies.
Hey guys, queen of this slump that I think has been really underreported. And this week, what I want, and that is the terrible base running that they've been doing recently. I'm talking like worst in the league. And we know on July 8th was their high point. They had a 15.5 game lead, and they were 61-23. And
okay, so the 9th to like the Mets series, maybe. How many stolen bases and because I have it now, how many do you think they stole and got caught in that stretch of 40 games?
So 40 games, you're looking at a month and a half. In a normal time frame, you'd like.
And it is wild because the 3 games before that, July 6th, 7th, 8th, they had 8 stolen bases and 0 caught stealings.
That's funny. I'm expecting it to be bad, so maybe it's like 9 steals and 6 caught stealing. Are my numbers very low?
Very low, yeah.
Okay.
They've been running.
Right, okay. So it's 18 steals and 12 caught stealing.
12 caught stealings, right.
You just got to put me in a neighborhood, and I'll make the play.
And you're very close on the other number, but wrong. Ultimately, because you said 18, right?
Ultimately wrong.
You said 18 stolen bases?
18 or 19.
Well, it's 19.
Okay. I think I said 18, if I'm being honest.
I think you said 18 as well, which is, a caught stealing percentage of.
But 18 and 19, for numbers, are 2 of the best friends you're going to find.
Yeah, they get along because no one likes them.
Yeah. Like, you're kind of not involved in the early teens, the 20s. I hate you.
That's what's the success rate there? 61% success rate?
That's not good.
No.
The numbers will tell you that's not good.
In that same stretch, 27 grounded into double plays. and 286 batters left on base. My goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness. Get better at base running.
Golly gee.
You can see that it's like what they do when they press. You can see Glaber do that. We've seen like Rizzo do that. It's like, hey, if I can't get a hit, I think that's what they were preached by their whole lives. Like, hey, if you can't hit offensively, there's ways you can still help the team. Grab an extra base, work the walk, make the play in the field. So when Glaber botches a play in the field, he's like, I'm stealing all my way to third, and does it at like no caution. Or Rizzo's like, I'm going to get to third. And it's like kind of press mode. When the bats are flowing, I don't think they feel as necessary to just run.
Yeah, and it's almost, it feels like every Yankee on the team has the mindset, you use base running to like make up for your other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're having a bad day, okay, well, I'll run the bases, and then you're either setting yourself up for a nice makeup or a really bad day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you say mm-hmm?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I said. Mm-hmm. You want to do the lineup?
Yeah, I think I could do the lineup. I'm on Andrew Benintendi's running splits pages and finding out what he's best at. It looks like
his base running page.
Yeah,
I love that page of Baseball Reference.
it looks like he's one of the best in the league at running 75 feet.
Hey, I don't know when that comes in, but that's awesome.
When you get a secondary lead and you're going to the next base, that's probably like 75 feet, right?
I'm guessing that's what that's for.
I mean,
so that'd be like
they have them in increments from 0, 5
Did you say
increments.
Increments is cool. It's cute.
Increments, that's when you start eating little pieces of meat and you get bigger and bigger each time.
Yeah.
Increments.
Yes. Growing up, some call that.
I mean, like it's like 75 feet. That's like getting a secondary lead off third, and you can, if you're good at that,
Sure.
grounders in the infield, you're beating the throw.
So funny
home.
that they have the different increments. You want to do some lineup?
I do. I'm interested in
Because it's not a true game of guess the lineup.
No, it's no, because we're not guessing. Because I am not guessing
No.
at all what the Yankees will do. I'm trying to figure out what I like.
And Jimmy, what you like is winners.
Well,
You know.
yeah.
And at the DraftKings Sportsbook, you got a chance. You got a chance, especially with college football being back. That's unreal. It's going to be a Saturday and just slates of college football games. And right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bet $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets instantly. Win or lose. You can do some parlay action, rack 'em up, rack 'em up, rack 'em up. I mean, if you do your research early in the season, you get some really interesting tidbits before you find out who these teams really are. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOHNBOY. Bet just $5 on college football and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's code JOHNBOY only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Jim, do you want to do the Mink Man? You were skipping the Mink Man the other day, but it's Mink Man season.
No, this wasn't in the one the other day.
I think it will.
No, I promise you, I go to each state. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for terms and resources. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in Tennessee. Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. One per new customer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. 200 issued as weight as 8 $25 free bets. Nice. It's Brett Gardner's birthday today. So have you thought about that at all?
Not really. I mean, you mentioned it in the Jeter doc, and it just passed, right? Like, if they really brought Guard Dog back and you were going to do spring training and actually do that to the team, June was like kind of the end date.
So you're not wishing him a happy birthday because he's not a Yankee?
Oh, yeah, because Brett Gardner celebrates his birthday, Jim. Read a book. Might as well read 2 when you get a chance and enjoy them.
Jake, leadoff has been something of interest. It's why we kind of started this conversation, because to get out of the slide, they moved DJ back. They started Benintendi. He led off 4 games in a row. Who do you have as your leadoff hitter in like your lineup?
My leadoff hitter is DJ LeMahieu. And it has nothing to do with leading off the game. It has everything to do with keeping the game going. It's the whole reason the top of the lineup has become more important from baseball. It's the whole reason, 25 years ago, Aaron Judge would hit cleanup. And we'd be like, boy, our cleanup hitter, Aaron Judge, special dude. Baseball's changed. Little League had it right. You put your best hitters at the top of the lineup. I always think that's hilarious that Little League was ahead of that one. Suck it, baseball. DJ LeMahieu. I enjoy Benny and who he is as a hitter and who he is as a ball player. It's just if it comes October and it's, bottom 9 or top 9 and we're cycling through the top of the lineup again, I want to ride or die with DJ over Benny. And I think as a Yankee fan, I think that sentiment should resonate. I mean, DJ's been so good for us. And Benny's, he's winning his way into our hearts. And he's a really good baseball player. He's really good contact, really good on base. And there's going to be a little bit of like who's hot going into the playoff. Because right now, more so the problem with the lineup is it starts to get thin by the end. And DJ, his versatility in the lineup is a little better than Benny's IMO. Like if there's runners on first and second and 2 outs, I think DJ's a more dangerous guy at the plate than Benny. Maybe I'm wrong on that, and we'll see how that develops. But I'm going to have DJ lead off because that's kind of the guy I want up there.
Okay. BBD, who did you have leading off?
I have DJ. We were talking a little bit about, is this a playoff lineup? I think playoffs come tomorrow and it all like matters a little more. I would go DJ. If we're talking about like what I'm willing to try out for these next couple weeks, I'm willing to see Benny, and I've always been open to the DJ a little further down. Prefer, back against the wall. I want DJ getting as many at bats, but I'm willing to see it for this next little stretch. Try it out. So lineup I wrote down for this exercise, I did write Benny.
Okay, so you have Benny leading. I have DJ leading off. I was interested in having DJ be later in the lineup, but then when you get to the names, it's either first or fifth for those two guys, and I can't have DJ that far down in the lineup. He needs to be getting more at bats, right. And that's where I ran into it. Like if you told me DJ was going to hit third or second, then I would do it and have Benny lead off, but he's not. He's either going to be, well, at least in the way I would construct it, it would be first or fifth. So I have DJ leading off. I have Judge batting second.
So this is where I'm going to be a little bit of a contradiction because this isn't my playoff lineup. This is my lineup for right now, and I do have Benny 2-hole. So everything I just said about having DJ as high up as I can, I've now slid Judge down the lineup, which that's me walking all over myself, and you could eat me up for that. I will say it's been something that's always fascinated me. And I went back 25 years and Judge would have been our cleanup hitter. You go back 3 years and Judge is our 3rd-hole hitter. Like, remember, 3rd hole was the spot you wanted your guy in. Now it's kind of moved up to the 2nd spot. I was always fascinated by the Washington Nationals and that run they went on and how they started off Trey Turner and Adam Eaton. And DJ and Trey Turner, obviously different ball players, but DJ can do his thing up top. And Adam Eaton became a really cool piece of that team because he would take his at-bats, he would do his thing, or if there was a runner on second, like he was a good enough hitter that he was going to make sure he pulled the ball. So if he got a hit, cool, or if not, he'd get that runner to third. And we've seen that from Benny. I mean, we've seen Benny willing to put down bunts in the right situation. He's, we talk about limited hitters in baseball that actually know how to handle the bat the old 1980s way. Benny can do that. So I would like to see on this West Coast trip, if DJ's leading off and he looks like DJ, what can Benny do from that 2-hole? Because obviously it's not how it works every time, but it's what made those Nationals teams so dangerous is that Trey Turner and Eaton were a problem at the top of the lineup. Trey Turner, really good. Adam Eaton, a pest, a la Benny. And they'd set up Soto and Rendon. So if Juan Soto's hitting 3-hole, I'm interested to see what it looks like with Judgy there. And if playoffs were tomorrow, I don't think that's my lineup. But as we're getting out of this funk and we're testing things out, I'm interested.
I agree. I have Judge too. I agree with what you're saying. It's just like a trial period. But for me, Judge is in a home run trace. Get Judge as many bats as you can. Judge is going to Oakland and the A's and some bad teams. Get him as many bats as he can, and let's break this fucking record. And eventually, if they bat Judge like first for a couple games, if they have the division locked up, I wouldn't be against that either. Like, get him at bats.
Marlins did that with Stanton at the end of
Marlins did that with Stanton. So I can't drop Judge too far at all because that record comes to mind.
Yeah.
But if that wasn't there, I understand the logic of keep Benny up top and let's keep it moving and see what this provides and what it is.
Yeah, I need Judge getting as many at-bats as possible. That was kind of like I'm down to see the DJ Benny up top either order, but I need Judge getting as many at-bats as possible. It screwed up that plan. So in the A lineup playoffs tomorrow, I have DJ Judge.
And hey, I slammed the table mostly earlier in the year saying it's got to be DJ Judge. So I think as we're still escaping that August funk, it's the reason I want to see this. And mostly, kind of like we talk about when you have playoff options with different guys. Like, we talk if Carpenter's back and it's like, oh, well, can he play right field? And then defensive sub later, those October conversations. If the Yankees lineup ran into a tough 2-game stretch, could this be a good option to throw out as a lineup one day? Like if DJ and Benny are both having good at-bats, that you can kind of shake things up in a playoff series. I'd like to know in my back pocket what that looks like and feels like if you need to go to it.
Yeah. And aside, the 2023 MLB schedule, no more 2-game series.
I mean,
I just tweeted out, we've been asking for that for so long. Besides the Mets, besides the home and away, 4-game home and away split. So us and the Mets and Oakland and
I think everybody has their regional rival that does a 2-2.
Yes, besides that, there's no more 2-game series.
It's awesome.
So that is awesome.
Okay. Where to next, boss?
Batting number 3, I have Rizzo. I have him splitting up Stanton. So I have Judge, Rizzo, Stanton. I'm guessing you have that because you have Judge too. I'm interested to see who you have in the 5-hole since you don't have any of these 3 in the 1-2.
I think Rizzo's after Judge for me still. I know Rizzo hasn't looked all world recently. There's a little bit of my old school Yankee heart leaking out, and it ties into the dropping Benny and DJ in the lineup that I have Rizzo 4 and Stanton 5 for now. Stanton's just coming off the IL. Let's see what version of Stanton we've got. But man, does this not hit righty lefty? And we're stretching out the lineup. There's been so many days recently that we haven't been comfortable with our cleanup hitter. We've had Donaldson or Glaber jumping into the cleanup spot, and it's just felt wrong. That with Stanton, freshly coming back, Stanton, and we're talking about now, if he could be your 5th hitter, and you're going DJ righty, Benny lefty, Judge righty, Rizzo lefty, Stanton, that is 5 meaty guys at the top of the lineup that you're looking at some potential, big innings. And the Yankees offense hasn't felt like a big inning in so long. It's felt like, let's please try to get one across and hope for the best. And I, again, if Giancarlo Stanton's right, this isn't an option. But he's just coming back off the IL. I kind of like that as a way for him to ease in while also trying out this stretched out lineup.
Okay. 6, I get 5. Or 5-hole, I have Benny.
Okay.
You go righty, lefty, lefty. You put him behind Stanton. It's a much different at-bat after going through Stanton and then Benny, so it changes up the side of the plate, the size of the human. All the visuals are different. The mindset's different. And it's almost like Benny is now leadoff for the second half of the lineup.
I drew up a second lineup because we originally talked about that, and it's copy and paste what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lineup I have that's like playoff game tomorrow matches everything you have said for the same reasons.
Benny 5-hole, it's a mental hurdle I need to get over because he's just a good hitter, and that's what you look for in the 5-hole. But it just feels a little off. It just stinks that Glaber's doing this right now and Donaldson hasn't been there because that feels like that's where they're supposed to be.
For me, it's like a balance, and we have so much pop there. Judge, Rizzo, Stan, that.
Well, and I know we're not doing Dream World right now, but man, if that Carpenter guy can come back.
Yeah, but we're doing like right now.
This is right now.
Yeah.
This is current.
6-hole, I got very funky.
Okay.
I have Glaber and Donaldson platooning it at second and third. I can't start both of them right now. And I was deep diving into the splits to try and figure out if there's like a natural, like he faces him and he faces him of it all. Not really. The only thing I found is that Glaber hits well against finesse pitchers, whatever that is on Baseball Reference. Huh. He also hits well against lefty relievers, whatever that is.
Okay.
Donaldson doesn't really have any good splits. He really struggles against fastball pitchers. But so does Glaber, but Donaldson was worse.
Yeah, I think my understanding is Donaldson's been bad against right-handed speed. He's been not great against anything, but
yeah. So I'm not starting both of them now. So they will be in the 6-hole platooning at second base and third base, which means DJ is floating back and forth between those two positions as well. It kind of works out easily defensively. But I didn't have the heart. I didn't have the heart to put both of them in the like everyday 6 out of 7 game lineup.
I love third base defense, and I didn't write Josh Donaldson into either one of these. And if I did, it would be platooning with Glaber.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have Glaber. I think each lineup I have Glaber 6th. So it's it is what it is for now. And Glaber, man, he deserves more of a... He's been tough for a little bit since the All-Star break. And I think Glaber, like I've said before, I think Glaber listens to the noise. I think Glaber knows he was about an inch away from being traded right before the deadline. I think that's affected him, and it was a part of the Yankees slump.
And Cabrera keeps playing.
Cabrera plays every day.
Cabrera's probably traded in the offseason.
Has fun. I do want to say if Glaber can let that go, which he can, this is baseball. Like Glaber Torres had a really good stretch of baseball this year. I think it's more than 2 months where he was an 800 OPS guy. That if he could have this be his slump and then get it going again, like we've talked about so many times, he has the postseason record that he earns credit there. That if he can look better heading into the postseason, he deserves some love from that.
BBD, did you have both of them in there?
For what I want to see for this little bit, no. I have Glaber penciled in, but it is essentially a platoon. Gun to my head in a playoff game, I think some part of my heart just still believes like Donaldson is going to be a factor in the playoffs. I can't get through that mental block in my head.
I'm the opposite there.
I wish I could because there's no evidence for it right now.
The glove is great, but his at-bats are...
I know.
Are tough.
It's been miserable to watch. I can't get over.
Can't hit a fastball or slider right now.
Yeah, he seems to, right when the leash is about to be fully cut, he
does like back-to-back games.
So, yeah. We'll see there. And yeah, I butter-knifed Glaber. It's 3 months, man. It's 75 games. He was a 276, 334, 840 OPS hitter. So he's been slumping since about the time of the trade deadline. If he can put this down as a 3-week funk and start going again, we can have Glaber Torres 5-hole type conversations, but the at-bats have been tough recently, especially.
Yeah. I have Oswaldo, right field, batting 7th, switch hitter. So, again, you go lefty. Then I went righty 6th, and then I went Oswaldo Cabrera. 7.
I went Trevi here. We've
I like that more, to be honest.
We've seen them bat Trevi as high as 5th recently for a few games. And I am a big believer in flipping the lineup. So not to reveal everything I have, but I guess I will. I finished Trevi, IKF, and Cabrera. I know the kid hasn't really hit yet, but he had an RBI walk the other day. And, let's see what he turns into. But for now, I kind of like, hey, dude, you're the rookie. Like, sometimes we talk about Yankee rules a little bit. They've just thrown him in the 6 hole, and that's kind of badass for Oswaldo. But also, like, I love when the Yankees, like, call a rookie up and, like, you're hitting 9th. You're a rookie. They did that to Glaber when he first came up. And, like, take the pressure off. You're the bottom of the lineup. And he's fun on the bases, right? So if we could get Oswaldo on the bases for DJ and Judge, like, you're setting up a double in the gap to be really electric. And, if Trevi does something, IKF has proven recently he can handle the bat. He can bunt if you need to, that you can set things up with Trevino or IKF, or when you do get offense from them, it is a proper bonus. So that was my thought process down there.
I like that because what I didn't like, I had Trevino 8, IKF 9, and I didn't like the 4 righties in a row of Trevino, IKF, DJ, Judge.
Yeah.
And by just moving Oswaldo and Trevino there, you get Cabrera lefty to switch it up a little bit.
Yep.
So I do, if I take a little note out of yours, I would change that. I would do Trevino 7, Oswaldo Cabrera 8, IKF 9 at short. That's how I'd do it, this West Coast trip.
I'd be open to shuffling, and in the lineup I have for this, gotta see it. Want to see Oswaldo keep getting at bats. I don't care what position he's playing. He dazzles at all of them. So whoever needs the DH day, doesn't really matter to me.
So we had basically the same guys, right? Like none of us had both Glaber and Donaldson. That's the biggest decision.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew we were going slash, I would have done the Glaber Donaldson slash.
I would have
too.
slashed
because
him.
I've hammered the table on it. Like when I originally drew up the lineup and I started putting in positions, I wanted to DH Glaber or DJ. But yeah, man, I value third base defense, and Donaldson. It has been really pretty over there, man. It's potentially game changing. Like that's a spot that we used to put in a defensive replacement, a Danny Echeverria shout out.
Cabrera looked pretty good though. I wonder if he could go over there and.
He's looked good, but I don't know if you've assigned positions to your current lineup. But
I have.
I believe Cabrera would have to be the right fielder in your lineup.
Yes.
Yeah. So, which isn't his strength necessarily. He's been good, but so yeah, I mean that gets a little fishy.
Yeah, you don't like this because Judge is in center field, and then the only other option now is Hicks. So Hicks is going to start some games on this West Coast trip because they sent the Florial down
For sure.
So be ready for
some
that.
defensive sub games.
Yeah.
And Stanton's DH only, right?
Yeah, he should be. I mean, let's not.
I think that's what they said. So
I mean, he definitely should be.
and that
I think he
changes the
said
game.
otherwise, but of course he said that.
That K-Star's been all over it. That changes the dynamic of the Yankees lineup a lot. When you can throw Stanton in right field, then you can start getting creative with stuff. I know IKF's numbers are better against lefties. If Oswaldo starts finding it against righties, can he be a shortstop fill-in for a day? It just when you clog up that DH spot, it changes a lot of the versatility from this Yankees lineup, which, by the way, don't care for now. Like, let's get Stanton going.
Let's get Stanton going. That's kind of, they're not going to do these, which is the bummer of it all. But I like that lineup. It makes sense. It's very top heavy until Glaber starts hitting, or Oswaldo or Trevino start hitting. Super top heavy.
Yeah, man, it's
Sort of who we got.
I know we've joked and have fun with Matt Carpenter, but he could change this whole dynamic because then he's your 5-hole or somewhere around there, and then Glaber or Donaldson becomes more appealing. I know we viewed him as like a bonus piece all year and fun. He's got the mustache, but he could change the whole lineup's dynamic. And, I mean, the other guy, let's get more updates, but Harrison Bader, it gives you another option.
Not a better option than any of the...
Oswaldo?
Well, if Carpenter's back.
Yeah, it depends, again, who can
Obviously,
play
yeah.
outfield and stuff. And
if you're trying to start Stanton and Carpenter, you can't start Bader. He would have to be a defensive replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe
And if they're both healthy, you're going to start Carpenter and Stanton. I mean,
you should.
Carpenter's a little bit of a pipe dream. It's going to be very hard.
Nature of when he's coming back and benefit to Bader. Maybe he just is the lefty pinch hit.
Yeah, we haven't done we didn't want to do
There's
righty lefty
roles.
for this. Harrison Bader traditionally better against lefties and a good OPS of 795. So that's the next step. Let's get him healthy and let's get closer to playoffs, and then we can play that game.
He's tracking pitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else we want to cover? What is the West Coast pitching? What do we know? I guess since this comes out before the West Coast series even starts.
What we know, so there's an off day Wednesday that we're currently living, and then it's supposed to be JMO, Cole, Nestor, Herman, Montas, and then it would be JMO and Cole again to finish the West Coast trip. Another off day before Tampa.
JMO, Cole,
Nestor, Herman, Montas.
Kind of interesting. MLB.com they don't put them in there until it's kind of like been said by the team, and they don't have anyone.
Fangraphs takes a little leeway on it.
Yeah, they're guessers.
They make educated guesses. It's nice.
Which I respect.
Because with the off day, they can do some stuff here, right?
What would you do?
I think Clark's going to get the 6-man at one point, but I don't know how that shuffles other stuff.
I guess, and I don't know if we can find it quick enough, but I feel like they haven't gone to their unofficial 6 until September, and the bullpen has so much questions in it still that I think at least for this road trip, they're going to keep Clark as an option out there. But again, I'm guessing as much as anyone.
They'll piggyback him if anything.
Well, yeah, and he's kind of their bullpen reset button right now. Like if he can give you those 3 innings that he's been at the end of a bullpen, I think they kind of like that.
The 3-out closer or 3-inning closer.
Yep.
I can try and see who did they put in their 6-man last year? It was Heaney and because they did it last year, right?
Believe so. I mean, was Heaney the guy?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think who else was around. I can find it. I'm pulling it up in 2 seconds.
I'm gonna need 2 seconds, people.
Tyone, Monty, Nestor, Kluber returned, Cole, and Heaney. But Tyone, Monty. So the last 2 times through, they didn't have a 6-man. Oh, and Heel was starting a little bit.
Heel was around, yeah.
So 1. And Schmidt started. Yeah, so they were getting funky.
And like a revolving 6th.
Yeah, because it wasn't 6-6-6. It was like 6-5, 6-5. They were in like a hybrid 6-man rotation.
Heel never made his major league actual debut until his 5th start or whatever.
Yeah, he was never not just a one-day guy until that.
4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is very easy to figure out because Monty never missed a start. So you just find all the Monty names and see when they start getting separated by a lot.
And Garrett didn't either, right?
Yeah, or I guess at the end they might have done him because he had the hammy.
So the first time it looks like they went to a 5-man was the week of August 17th.
Okay.
No, they were messing around for a while, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, remembering the heel stuff,
they were hurt. They had COVID. Monty and Cole got COVID. So if I go to Heaney, because he came over and he was like, yeah, they were on a 5-man as soon as Heaney came. And then they did a 6. So, okay, they did a 6-man August 12th. That's when they started doing it. No. August 2nd, yeah. Heaney, Heel, Tyone, Cortez, Peralta. Heaney, Tyone, Cortez, Cole, Monty, Heel.
Well, right around then
6,
was
yeah.
Field of Dreams, right? And so that's when they
Yeah, that was
COVID
the
times.
The second.
That was August 14th, yeah. I guess it was a lot of messed up stuff.
Got weird.
5-man. Then Heaney went to the bullpen. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to do it at some point. Maybe they don't do it now.
Yeah, that the only thing that's making me not think so is the surrounded by double off days. Because you're essentially getting an extra day anyways, right?
Yeah. I don't think they care about matchups here at all, so it's just if they want to give anyone rest. Like if they wanted to give Tyone a day, or Nestor. They've been trying to get him out of games earlier. He doesn't seem to care. Yeah. I can see them pushing. The only reason I like or think they might do Clark, Jake, is because with that other off day, you now just pushed everyone like a lot. It's basically 3 off days in the course of one time through the rotation. Like everybody would get like a week and a half, kind of. If you have an off day, a 6 starter day, and an off day in.
I could see that. The only guy would be Tyone. I think he'd have to be the only double.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I don't know. We know Cole likes being regular.
They can also go Cole tomorrow and Tyone the next game. Then Cole's the only one that's regular.
Which we know he likes.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that.
All right. I think that's the show. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. We'll be back to recap the West Coast series. Oh, no, we're going to be live.
Yeah.
On Yes Network, on the Yes app, doing the watch along. So for game 4 on Sunday against Oakland. What time does that start? Is it a 4 o'clock start?
4 o'clock start.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Make sure you tune in. Spend your Sunday with us on the Yes app, watching the game, enjoying it. Yankees will probably be going for 7 in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
Go Yanks. Tell them Grams.
Go Yankees.